Good evening and welcome to this session of C&D Recycling, where Engineer Abdul Mohsin Al-Khatiri, Director of Projects and Facilities Department at Abu Dhabi Waste Management Center, will give a presentation focusing on a circular approach to construction and demolition waste management. Engineer Abdul Mohsin has over 13 years of experience in project development, management, and supervision, leading and contributing in the preparation of the waste management strategy, policy development, review and revision of program guidance and waste audits. He is also involved in the identification and assessment of the hazardous nature of the waste and proposing appropriate technologies and treatment solutions. Thank you for joining us here, Engineer Abdul Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Engineer Abdul Mohsin Al-Khatiri, Acting Director of Project and Facility Department from Abu Dhabi Waste Management Center. Today, I'm going to present construction and demolition waste management through a circular approach. Let's talk about TADWEER. TADWEER established in December 2008 by Decree number 17. The government of Abu Dhabi has set out its commitment to improving the waste management sector across the Emirate by establishing TADWEER. TADWEER is the lead agency responsible for controlling and coordinating waste management activity through the Emirate, including policy, strategy, and contractual systems. Only environmental service provider licensed by TADWEER are allowed to handle waste in the Emirate. The UAE government is committed to achieving more sustainable consumption and production and meeting UN 12 SDG by moving away from degenerative linear economy, take, make, use, dispose, to a regenerative circular economy, where consumption and production operate sustainably within environmental limits, securing the well-being of both current and future generations. This commitment to SCP and circular economy is following a line an important contributing part to the UAE Vision 2021 and the UAE Green Agenda 2030. Waste is often treated as an environmental hazard to be disposed of safely, rather than as a source of valuable material and product. Regulation could be revised to ensure that waste is viewed more as potential resources rather than a waste. More investment can be made into developing material reuse and recycling infrastructure and in digital infrastructure. Digital material system that can be enabled end-to-end tracking of material can help identify material for reuse as they come to the end of their life. Setting target on quantities of waste generated and on the proportion of waste that is recycled. By adopting circular economy strategy in the infrastructure sector, the UAE aims to have more efficient, designed, constructed, and demolished infrastructure where material and resource use and pollution are minimized, and where valuable material are kept in use and not lost or wasted. Likewise, it's expected to result in building and wider urban environmental being used more efficiently and productively. The C&D waste infrastructure sector is neither sufficient nor sustainable. Approximately 10 to 15% of building material are wasted during construction and project development. Large quantity of discarded material are mixed with other waste and landfill without any value being extracted from the waste. The C&D waste account 60% of the total mass solid waste produced in the UAE. Here is the key slide where we're going to show you the most challenges that we are facing in respect to the recycled product RCA. One of the major challenge is the competitive price, where the virgin material are cheaper than the recycled material due to the processing cost. So a complete recycled material market could be developed. Another major also challenges is the removal of the hazardous content from the C&D waste, which cost the waste processor company a huge amount of money, where we cannot use that material when it contained a hazardous content, like for example, an asbestos. Asbestos fiber can mix with the C&D, and that waste will be counted as hazardous material. So the source segregation will minimize the contamination of material. The use of the hazardous material in construction should be avoided. Data is another challenge, where the insufficient data on demolishing the structures make it difficult to assess the nature of associated hazards. Pre-demolition audit and assessment will minimize the risk. Another way to overcome these challenges is the incentive. Lack of incentives result in less interest and motivation, especially for the construction sector people, where you have a lot of change resistance. Incentive in terms of VAT, subsidy, and or green rating will motivate the use of recycling material. Policy and regulation was one of the enablers which can overcome the challenges toward the RCA sector. Absence of policy regulations make enforcement difficult. Strategic policies should be developed, supported by regulations to enforce the implementation. Always we say, when we don't have the enforcement, the laws and regulation will become an advice. Capitalize on the use of the local and reuse, recycled and recyclable material to promote sustainable management of construction activity. All the key that we're going to mention now should be implemented and required by the concerned authority. Develop programs to support the reuse and recycling building material to reduce C&D waste, including the better design of material for reuse and assembly and high-value recycling. Support businesses to incorporate circular economy principle into building design and into construction design. Develop economic incentive to reduce the demand for virgin material and increase the use of waste streams. Support the development of infrastructure designed in modular, flexible, and variable and durable way. For example, use less material, extract maximum value from resources, select construction material which low carbon incentive, or use renewable energy for material transportation. Circular activity, here, the circular economy targets in Abu Dhabi. The current status for the national recycling rate is 20%, almost 21% based on 2019 data. The target is to achieve 75% by 2026. You can see from this slide how we have a very tight and aggressive targets to have a better and green city. Municipal solid waste has to be reduced from 1.87 kilogram per capita per day to 1.2 in 2036. The renewable electricity production has to be raised from 1.7% by 2018 to 44% by 2050. Based on 2019 data, the total waste generated in Abu Dhabi is almost 11 million tons. Daily average of 30,000 tons per day, distributed within different classification of the waste. 33% of the waste, or let's call it 34% of the waste, is C&D waste. That's why TADWEER and the government focus and highlighted and try to resolve all the challenges facing the sector. From this slide, we can show you how the waste has been fluctuated and the effort has been done to increase the recycling and to divert the waste from the dump site. Whereas still the culture and the practice of mixing and not segregating the waste are affecting the waste has been transferred to the dump site. 35% of the waste has been recycled. The percentage has been increased from 2017 up to now, but we are aiming to divert 85% of the waste from the landfill based on the goals and the target of the master plan Abu Dhabi 2030. We had one of the successful stories that we can present today is a DHAFRA C&D waste recycling facility. These are a public-private partnership between TADWEER and the DHAFRA recycling industry, which we call TADRI, for the management of the C&D waste in Abu Dhabi, in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. The plan was designed and constructed in 2009 and has processing capacity of 5,000 to 7,000 tons of material per day. The material produced is 37.50 to 37.5 millimeter, well-graded recycled crush aggregate, meeting the requirement for road base, sub base, structural fill, trench bedding, and low dust asphalt. The product specification is approved by Abu Dhabi Quality and Conformity Scale as one of the first and the one of its unique approved by QCC, Abu Dhabi QCC, and meet the ASTM requirement and Istidama rating for Istidama rated projects. The process at the project is ISO 4501 and ISO 9001, ISO 14001 and OSHA certified. We are working along with a DHAFRA recycling facility to supply our product to the major projects and mega projects in Abu Dhabi. One of the major projects that has been used, the RCA material, is the Etihad Railway. This is another mega project, Khalifa Port and Lover Museum and Al Ghawifat Highway, which is around 300 kilometers length from Abu Dhabi to Saudi Arabia. Performance has been dramatically increasing from the establishment of the project 2010 to now. The receiving waste, C&D waste, is around 17 million tons of C&D as of 2021 from the starting of the project. Produced 15 million tons of RCA, sold 15 million tons of RCA, and this will show how the waste management sector can contribute to the economy and can support the infrastructure project in the Emirate, where we explained that this material has been used in the mega project like Sheikh Zayed Mosque and different infrastructure projects with municipality and different government entities. Government entity and the waste sector, especially TADWEER, has contributed significantly in this project. TADWEER has provided an exclusive concession to ADRI, a DHAFRA recycling facility, with the allocation of land for establishing the C&D waste processing facility. Reception and processing of all construction and demolition waste generated in Emirates of Abu Dhabi. Provide business development opportunity by introducing to various end users of recycling concrete aggregate RCA. Implementing of necessary policies and regulations aligned with different government entities like AAD, municipality, Musanada, ADQCC, by introducing by utilizing the RCA product in the public infrastructure projects. Develop and implement regulation requirement by the government for utilizing 40% of recycling aggregate in the road and infrastructure project. And these are the key where we fight to get this decree to use 40% of the RCA in the infrastructure project. Processing capacity has been increased from 5,000 to 8,000 tons per day at present. From 2010 until today, the project has been produced 15 million tons of RCA. The RCA has been certified as the only kind by the Abu Dhabi Conformity Scale. Positively, it can contribute towards government target to divert 80% of the waste by 2030. The project has reduced the environmental and health risk resulting from the imparalleled management of C&D waste, especially that we are in the region that we have booming of the construction and demolition activity. Encourage the efficient use of resources in accordance with the principle of sustainable development and life cycle approach. And positive contribution to the economic development and recycling, reuse of the C&D material and use of the RCA. We work with the different major clients locally, like Musanada, ADNOC, Etihad Airlines, and municipalities, and other also clients. International consultant also approved the RCA materials as Parsons, Atkins, Hyders, and others, where all the tests and the examination has been succeeded within the consultant activities and review and audit. We believe that we have one of the most successful public-private partnership model. The ADRI DHAFRA recycling facility C&D waste project is one of the most successful PPP model in the region. And they are receiving several awards and appreciation at the government and private forum. The project is very useful case study in terms of collaboration and support of the regulation and supervisory agency and the technology service provider, resulting in a sustainability waste management practice and the implementation of the circular economy processed C&D waste. I hope this information was useful for you, and we're always ready to answer your question. Thank you for your attention.